It's a short animated film that my ex-boyfriend begged me to watch on his knees. I thought it was a trick video, but I didn't expect to cry all night after watching it. In the middle of the city, there's an inconspicuous platform. An old man always sits on a chair at 6 p.m. He habitually leaves a seat, as if he was waiting for someone. Suddenly a breeze blew by. The old man's hat was blown up by the wind, and his mind was carried back 60 years by the wind. At that time he was a young and handsome boy. He was late for a date and almost missed it. But the girl wasn't angry. She took out a hat and gave it to him. And in the days to come, the girl always sat on the right side of the bench, so that she could jump into the boy's arms as quickly as possible. Finally, the boy had the courage to take out a ring and put it on the girl's ring finger. And from that day on, they started a family together and walked hand in hand. But the happiness didn't last long. The man had to go to the front to fight. He was forced to separate from his wife. And on the day of separation, they embraced each other on the small platform. And when the train left, they realized that the woman was pregnant. And in the days that followed, the woman would come to the station every day to wait for her husband. But it took 6 months. Not long after that, their baby was born. The woman began to carry the baby to the station. But as the child grew up, her husband still didn't come back. Another 3 years passed. A shuttle bus came back here as usual, but it was different. This time the man came back. The moment they met, the man left his luggage in his hands and hugged his wife tightly. All the love was melted in this silent embrace, and the boy was very happy to see his father for the first time. He brought his hat to the man's head. The family was finally reunited. But the old man was not happy to see this, because he knew, 5 years later, his wife became seriously ill. The man held his wife's hand and came to the platform, waiting for the train called death to arrive. They smiled at each other. She boarded the train alone, a symbol of farewell, until the last moment. The wife looked at the man with sadness in her eyes, because she knew she could never go back. After that, the man went to the bench and became one with the old man. When he woke up again, he returned to the cold reality. But the next moment the old man suddenly realized that the watch in his hand had stopped moving. He suspected that there was something wrong with the watch. He touched his head, but he realized that his hat was hanging over his head. No matter how hard he tried to press it down, he couldn't. Until he took off the hat, he realized that he had already lost his life. What he had just seen was just a memory of his life. And at that moment, the familiar train called death came again. The old man was shocked when he saw it. It was his wife who had come to fetch him. They embraced each other again. Just like 60 years ago, life will come to an end. Maybe those who left first just boarded the train first. When our lives run out, they'll join us again on the last train.